this haircut tutorial is gonna be I guess a mid compressed fade. Now this fade I think is the best fade I've ever put on a YouTube platform that I've showed how. But I actually gave you the steps that I actually do in the barbershop. I don't really do the all the way open, all the way, the one guard, all that stuff. Realistically, I don't do none of that. What I really do is I do 2 steps, and the 2 steps that I'm gonna show, that's how I actually cut at the barbershop. Hope you find this video helpful. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let's get to it.
On this haircut tutorial, we're gonna be doing, like I said, a mid compressed fade. So as usual, the only step that I do is the 2 steps, going with the 1 guard all the way open and the 2 guard all the way open. Now right here, obviously I'm just doing the same steps. I am doing the ball line. I know some people tend to be scared of this, so if you're a beginner, you just start getting used to the ball line. I would suggest, I guess you can start with the 5 out. So the 5 out is basically I guess like a blade, if you want to say, or detachable clippers. Most of the OGs, the barbers that have been on the game for quite some time, I was going to say like 10 years, they usually say, stay away from trimmers and usually just, stick with detachable blades, which is pretty cool. At the beginning, I was a big fan of that, but then eventually I felt like you still have to go back and use your trimmers and surpass to ball that out, so completely. So I kind of felt like it was pointless, so I was like, I'm just gonna stick with the trimmers. And eventually I got used to it and I got adjusted to the trimmers. Now after the ball line, I am gonna be using the shavers. Now it does look like I'm using the whole thing, but in reality, once I'm going most of the line, I am using most of the corners and I'm mostly flicking out. Now sometimes I do tend to leave a line, so I do have to come back using my trimmers and just make sure I'm balling out completely. So when I'm using my trimmers, I usually flip the trimmer depending on the hair texture and how hard the line is. I leave it like this, like I'm showing you right now. But if not, I usually flip the clipper up and go with the trimmer all the way up towards the line. Now this is the steps that I usually do at the barbershop. Now this is the lever all the way open with the 1 guard all the way open. Now I am going about an inch, I guess I want to say, a full inch. Now as you can see on the back, his hair growth pattern grows a little bit kind of weird, as you want to say. It grows to the side. So as you can probably see, I'm going to be cutting towards the right instead of all the way up and down on some motions, because his hair grows to the left from the back. But his hair is pretty cool because it's pretty dark. But right there, towards on top of his ear, he's gonna have like a scar. I guess you can see that, like kind of like a line, kind of like towards an X. It looks like a scar, but that's just a natural scar. But afterwards, we're gonna use the 2 guard all the way open, and I am using another guideline. Now this guideline is just so you can see how high you intend to go with the fade. And then you can see right here in the back, it also still grows towards the left side, so you're gonna have to go against the grain to cut towards the right. Now I do use clipper over comb, and sometimes I do tend to use the 3 guard and the 4 guard. But if I feel like I can skip those parts, then I just go directly to clipper over comb. But since his hair is his head shape is pretty tight, because he does like the curls, I try to do only clipper over comb on him from the back, not from the sides. Right here I am using the number 4 guard. I am skipping the number 3 guard. I went directly with the number 4 guard because I was usually flicking the wrist, and I was just I kind of want to leave the weight line on him, because that's kind of like the style he likes and he's always tends to looking for. But as you can see from the back, it does look like a big old line, and that's how we blend in with clipper over comb. Now I don't really show it, but I also use my thinning shears depending on the hair texture. But I usually do most of the time, 9 times out of 10, shear over comb. Now right here I'm just eliminating, this ain't bulk, this is basically just blending in. Now there's some barbers that blend in up motion, going towards up towards the sky, or going towards side to side like I am towards the right. Now, the way I was taught is basically if you're cutting all the way up towards kind of like towards the sky with the clipper up, down, then you're basically blending. But if you're cutting side to side, then you're not really blending. It's just in reality just I guess debulking, as you can say. But in my personal opinion, I feel like if you know what you're doing, then you really are blending. At the end of the day, I personally come back with the shearable comb, so that tends to blend in for me. I sometimes use my thinning shears, but I try to stay away from it sometimes. I had a bad experience. I did kind of patch this guy that I kind of had to go to fade up even more farther. But moving forward, now I am blending and I'm fading down. So on this technique, as you see right there, I'm cutting towards the right. I am using my half guard, and I'm using with the lever all the way open, or slightly closed, just one notch closed. And I'm just blending in, and I'm just trying to stay below the number one all the way open. And I'm just using the corners. Now right now, I'm not trying to perfect the blend. I'm just going step by step from what I have. And as you can see, you should see two guidelines. Two lines, not guidelines. Which is the one between the 1.5, and the other one's going to be between the 1.5 and the 4. So right here, I am blending with the 1.5 guard, and I still haven't moved the lever. The lever is still same position. Now, as you can see, I am only using 3 teeth of the guard. That's how I like to keep it most of the time. Now, if you're afraid to keep blending in, then I would suggest go with the number 2 guard, and then slowly go back down. But personally, I feel like you should mess up even more. The more you mess up, the faster you'll learn. So I would just suggest jumping right in. And now I'm cutting the same. I'm blending in the same line that we blended before, but now I'm using the number 1 guard. So as you can see, this is quite a little bit faster, but also I guess it takes a little bit more of experience, because you tend to get lost sometimes. Especially, I don't really do this, especially like if I'm cutting a customer for the first time, and they have like thin hair. Most definitely I would not do this. I really wouldn't do this step. I really would cut with a bigger guard. So like, for example, if they want like a number 1 guard, 1.5 on the sides, then I'd probably go with the number 3 if they really have thin hair. Sometimes, you slap the number 2 guard and it looks like they had a number 1 guard. And that's just basically on the hair texture. So right here, I'm using the same thing as number 1 guard, and I'm just blending it right in. Now, as you can tell, he does have a pretty big scar towards the top of his ear, right there as I'm blending in. Now that's on his right side. Now on his left side, he does have a bigger, I guess you want to say like a ball patch right there. You can see, boom, that's pretty big. So I try to do my best when I'm fading. Try to hide it in, or I just try to make it seem, give it the illusion that that's part of the fade. Which is, I feel like that's basically what he really likes about me. That I give him like the illusion that the fade is, that patch kind of goes with the fade with him, which is pretty dope. Now right here, I am blending the last line. The last line should be the easiest line out of all. Now this is the part when people tend to panic. So it goes with the lever closed, halfway, and then open. But people tend to get scared going all the way up, when you're fading. But that's part of this process, especially with this type of steps that I do. I go close and halfway, and then all the way open. And right there, sometimes people do get scared because I do go all the way up. But when I go all the way up, at the end of the day, when you're doing the typical 3 steps, the lever all the way open, 1.5 open, and then 2 guard open, when you do detail work, eventually you kind of go all the way up. So basically, I'm kind of skipping in a way detail work. Not really, because detail work you can never skip. But I'm kind of surpassing more of the detail work in advance. But you never skip detail work. Detail work, the only thing you can do is come to a minimum. Now right there, when I did with the lever all the way close, as you can see, I left a big old line there, and that was part of the scar. Now I've cut his hair a few times, so that always seems to happen, especially on the same spot. And I usually just take it out with the half guard all the way closed and all the way open. So right here, this is the detail work part. Now this is what tends to be the most either difficult part or the easiest part. It always also begins on the hair texture. Now his hair texture, I always do the same exact same steps. So as you can see, I'm corner cutting extremely using just one notch, one cutting blade tooth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really trying to use the whole thing. The more you use the more you exaggerate the clipper towards, in a tilted way, the more you're gonna cut less. So to me, since this is like a compressed fade, I don't want to bring the fade any higher up. What I really want to do is just make sure that it's nice and faded, but as tight as possible. Because I also did with the number 4 guard, so I do want to keep that weight line. Because I feel like that weight line tends to be the most dark part of the fade. And I feel like right now it's really, I guess, popular at the moment. Especially, I think the most people who've actually promoted a lot was Faded Culture. Man, Faded Culture, man, they do some nice blends. And those type of blends are very, very tight, that's why I feel like they got a lot of popularity, because I think their tight fades, they kind of what you call it, I guess made it more normal. I guess I'm gonna say it. Yeah, they made it a little bit more normal. Because I remember back then in the days, if you got a nice tight fade, they'll call it like a chili bowl. And nowadays, everybody's getting, I guess you can call it the chili bowls. But in reality, making the chili bowls is kind of the hardest part to do as a barber. And extending the fade is usually the easiest part of cutting hair and fading. So I feel like they kind of did promote it. It's okay to have a nice tight fade. It all depends on the barber, and thanks to them, this kind of basically made it more popular. Which is pretty cool, because there was a certain time that only crop tops were considered. You could only have like a crop top that's like a hairstyle. You could only have a crop top to have a compressed fade. And now they will look at you weird. You know what I'm saying? And now everybody's just having tight fades. And right now the tight fades is getting very popular. Moving forward, I am still doing detail work. I'm exaggerating the corners, the exact same thing. But I'm using the lever all the way open and then all the way closed. Remember, every head is different. You can use any step you want when fading, but eventually, to attack the fade, everything is different. And as you can see, that fade looking nice, compressed and tight, looking smooth and clean. My name is Rudy A. Blends. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. God bless.